Hi there, how are you tonight? It is December 3rd, 2024, and it is day number 3 of our Christmas Advent. And the devotional that I've been going through and inviting you along. I'm going to start off with a quick little story and take you back to one summer day when I was 12, and I grew up in a boating family. My parents were avid boaters, and they had me, the youngest of 4 kids, on a boat when I was 4 weeks old. So I'm very thankful for those memories and experiences. But we had this one particular day, we boated on the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, and this one particular day we went on a trip to Baltimore Harbor, and it was about an hour trip, and it was a beautiful day, and the water was smooth from what I remember. The skies were blue, and we spent our time there and turned around to go home. And while we were in the middle of the bay, a pretty severe storm rolled in, and we found ourselves in the middle of a really bad storm. And storms can come very fast on the water, seemingly out of nowhere. And the boat that my parents had at that time was called a Penyan, and they don't make them anymore, but it had a little cabin, and it had a bridge where my dad was driving the boat, and it was me and my brother and his girlfriend, who was his wife, but back then it was his girlfriend, and my mom and dad. And for a while, my mom and my sister-in-law and I were playing Scrabble in the cabin at the little table, windows right there, and the water was coming up, and after a while we couldn't play the game anymore. But the waves were coming up over the bridge, and the rain was pelting, and my brother had to keep wiping off my dad's face so he could see, and it was like Gilligan's Island kind of storm. It was pretty bad, but I remember we were in the middle of the bay, we couldn't see any land or anything, and there were no other boats there. As we journeyed along, my dad was just trying to get us home, and as we journeyed along, I do remember we came across one capsized, pretty large sailboat, and they were just kind of hanging on the side of their boat, and my dad wanted to help them, offered to bring them onto our boat, and they didn't want our help, and I think maybe they were expecting somebody to pick them up. I don't know, but anyway, that always bothered my dad, but understandably. But anyway, we eventually made it home. It took us 4 hours to get back, and the funny thing is, surprisingly, I don't remember being fearful. And maybe I was, but I don't remember being fearful. I remember trusting my dad. My dad was an extremely capable, skilled, expert captain of a boat, and had many years of experience, and I knew I was in good hands. And, I know God protected us, but he also gave my dad some skill with the kind of boater that he was. And that story ties in with our Advent today. The first day of Advent, they gave a verse from Hebrews 6:19 in the Bible. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. So I'm on day 3, present hope. Imagine the worst storm you've ever been in. Lightning flashes, thunder rolls, the wind howls. A storm at sea is even more overwhelming as the waves toss and churn anything in their waters. When a storm hits a ship at sea, the anchor becomes its only hope. Nothing can be done about the wind and waves and rain. There is nothing solid to tether to. But the sea anchor serves to stabilize the boat in bad weather. By increasing the boat's drag through the water, the anchor can keep the boat from turning broadside to the waves and being overwhelmed by them. The anchor allows the boat to weather the storm. Hebrews 6:19 compares our hope in Jesus to a sea anchor. Hope doesn't change the storms we are facing. Hope doesn't change the storms we are facing. The waves are still as big. The rain pelts us just as hard, and the wind still howls just as strong. But hope can hold us firm and secure so that we are not overwhelmed. This is God's promise as we wait for Jesus' coming at Christmas and his second coming on earth. Hope is what we cling to when the storms of life come, knowing that our eternal hope is in the one who controls the wind and waves, and that his love for us is greater than anything life can bring. I'm going to read that one more time. Hope is what we cling to when the storms of life come, knowing that our eternal hope is in the one who controls the wind and waves, and that his love for us is greater than anything life can bring. Let that sink in a little. What storms are you facing in your life? Do you feel secure in hope or overwhelmed by the waves? How can you cling to hope as an anchor amidst the storm? Well, I can honestly tell you that I can feel secure in hope or overwhelmed by the waves all in one day. But I know where to go, and I know that my hope is in Jesus, and I know that I can ask him for peace, and I think that's why this Advent season is so important, because for a Christian who believes in Jesus and the salvation that he offers, it is a time of remembrance and thanksgiving that he came, because he came to save us from this condition that we are in. And he is our hope. And that's what we're talking about every day this week, is the hope that he is. And so, I know that, I don't know if you'd be watching this if you don't believe in Jesus, but I could be talking to somebody that does and somebody that doesn't. But I am somebody that does. And I know that the Bible is a secure place. Jesus is a secure hope, an anchor for any soul that receives that gift from him, the gift of salvation. So I'm going to leave you with that tonight, but I do pray for peace for you, and I pray for encouragement for you, and that God would touch your heart in some personal way. And that is all I'm going to do tonight because I'm tired. So thanks for joining me. Good night. Take care. Bye.